He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been good. So be good for goodness sake. It's that time of year when we let a strange man into our homes while we're all asleep. We know he's watching, and we're happy about it, because if we've been good enough, we get presents from him. Why do we let this jolly, cookie-addicted tyrant dictate our lives? It's really no wonder that so many go a little mad this time of year. I am your cousin Bobby, and tonight we screen Silent Night, Bloody Night. This 1972 proto-slasher flick takes place on Christmas Eve and should not be confused with the 1984 slasher flick Silent Night, Deadly Night. Likewise, the evil Santa in that movie should not be confused with the evil Santas in Rare Exports, Santa's Sleigh, Dial Code Santa Claus, or Christmas Evil. Oh, and of course, Christmas Evil should not be confused with Black Christmas or its remakes. Oh, and when we talk about evil Santas, don't confuse that with Krampus or any of the movies made in his name. Krampus is really more of an anti-Santa than an evil Santa. And of course, don't confuse any of those Christmas horror movies with other Christmas horror movies like Gremlins, Jack Frost, Blood Beat, Better Watch Out, Red Christmas, Trapped with the Devil, Day of the Beast, or Anna and the Apocalypse. Oh, and definitely don't confuse Elves with Elf. Elves is about Nazi elves and does not feature Will Ferrell as a lovable man-child. So yeah, check to see if the title is singular or plural. One thing that sets this movie apart from other holly jolly horror movies is that this has an early producer credit from none other than Troma co-founder Lloyd Kaufman. Born Stanley Lloyd Kaufman Jr. on December 30th, 1945 in New York City, he got his start working on smaller independent films and with Cannon Films. A couple notable early Kaufman joints includes the notorious 1970 movie Joe and Sugar Cookies, which also featured an early production credit from Oliver Stone. In 1974, Kaufman and his friend Michael Hertz formed Troma Films, from the start using it as a company that produces, acquires, and distributes independently made movies. Now, most of you horror hounds probably already know what a Troma film is. Grotesque, farcical, and absurd genre films that wear their cheap budgets like a badge of honor and feature buckets of bodily fluids. If you really want to get an idea of what Troma is all about, I recommend checking out their two biggest successes from the 80s, Return to Nukem High and the legendary Toxic Avenger. Other Troma films that have gained cult success include Mother's Day, Surf Nazis Must Die, Sergeant Kabuki Man NYPD, Tromeo and Juliet, and Poultrygeist, Night of the Chicken Dead. Similar to Roger Corman, Troma is also famous as a launching pad for big-name filmmakers. Most famously, Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn got his start writing Tromeo and Juliet, and Troma served as distributor for South Park co-creator Trey Parker's Cannibal the Musical. Now, since it's Christmas time, your cousin Bobby will give you the gift of more Troma facts, more talk about Christmas horror, and more facts on this movie during the breaks. In the meantime, let's start this decent little flick. It can be slow, and the acting is not great, but it has a whole lot of atmosphere and does get pretty creepy at times. They actually used that mysterious phone caller shtick a couple years before Black Christmas did it. So strap in, make sure you have a good cup of eggnog at hand, and prepare yourselves for Silent Night, Bloody Night.
One last time, I have to see this ground. It's beautiful now, as if nothing had happened here. Soon they will tear down the main house, and then nothing will be left. Nothing. Except what I remember. I grew up in the town nearby, where my father was the mayor, and where this house stood, waiting for me. It was built by Wilfred Butler. We had never seen him, and he never lived at home. Until the day before Christmas in 1950, he finally did come back. For the last time. All of us believed that his death was an accident. No one knew that another person had come to Butler House that Christmas.
As Deputy Coroner of the County of Arlington, State of Massachusetts, I hereby find, upon evidence of an autopsy conducted by the medical examiner of this county, that the deceased, Wilfred Butler, died as a result of burns inflicted accidentally upon himself on his own premises during the afternoon of December 24th, 1950. No further inquiry shall be held over the body of the deceased, and this inquest is officially closed.
All is calm, all is bright, round yon Virgin Mother and Child.
After the coroner's inquest, on New Year's Day, they buried Wilfred Butler. There was no one there to mourn him. It was the funeral of a stranger.
Wilfred Butler, being of sound mind and body, at least what the world considers sound, do hereby leave my house and its grounds and all personal effects within that house to my only surviving relation, my grandson, Geoffrey Butler. And I solemnly charge him with one duty. Let him leave the house as I left it, standing untouched, to remind the world of its inhumanity and cruelty.
For 20 years, that house lay empty, exactly as Wilfred left it. And then, last year, rumors began that it was finally being sold. The newspaper story traveled through the county to a state hospital for the criminally insane. The man who came to sell the house had never seen it. He was a lawyer from the city, just doing a job and enjoying it.
Stop! And look serious, please. Oh, you're hopeless. Oh, look!
Hey, wait, where you going now? The mayor's gonna have a fit, kid.
One more shot.
Come on.
Stay there. I want one together. And smile.
For all the news as it happens, stay tuned to WLIX, your voice of the Northeast. This is Roger Fowler with local stories. First, today's headlines. A warehouse fire still rages in Elizabeth. Police suspect arson. That escaped inmate at Margaretville State Hospital still at large, still hunted by state police. And over in Roxbury, the city passes a controversial housing code.
Well, didn't I tell you? It's beautiful.
Can we see the rest of it?
Honey, that was it. I think the mayor's waiting for me.
My love is such an important man.
Right. Laura always says that.
Darling,
What?
don't be long.
Honey, if you get bored, just look at the view. Sooner or later, that viaduct's gonna take us back home.
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Mayor.
Let me introduce you. This is Charlie Toman, who publishes our weekly newspaper, The Patriot.
Mr. Tolman.
And this is Tess Howard.
How do you do?
She operates our switchboard.
Oh, really?
We call her the communications director. And this is Bill Mason.
Mason.
Our sheriff. Won't you sit there, Mr. Carter, at the head of the table?
Thank you. I didn't expect to meet you all together. It's quite a reception. All right, let's begin. As you know, I've been retained by Jeffrey Butler. The matter concerns the house that he inherited from his grandfather, Wilfred Butler.
Go on, Mr. Carter.
I believe that you offered to buy the house from my client.
Offered. We begged him. We wrote letters and we...
That's enough, Tess.
Well, it's true.
Trouble. There's always trouble.
I can sympathize.
I spent the last 20 years and more driving people away from there. Prowlers, burglars, kids, they're the worst. Chasing for nothing because of that will. That drivel about humanity. No. Inhumanity. What the hell is that, huh?
Yes, well, he was a bitter man.
Hate?
It must have been very hard.
It must have been hate.
That man hated. Well, some people are like that.
The question is, well, do you still want the house?
Are you offering it to us, Mr. Carter?
Exactly.
Why now?
Well, that's Mr. Butler's business, isn't it?
You know we're not rich. Most of us came here during the Depression. But we love this town. It's our home.
And naturally, you want to improve it.
Exactly.
My client understands that, and he fully sympathizes, and he's willing to sacrifice the house for $50,000 in cash by noon tomorrow.
That's an awful lot of cash.
It's also an awfully good bargain.
You could go to Wilton. You could go now to the bank.
Am I clearly understood?
All that cash.
Perfect. I'll wait for your answer till tomorrow.
You're spending the night here?
Yes,
May I ask where?
at the Butler house.
We could put you up at the motel as our guest.
No, the house is fine.
The Paradise Motel.
That's very kind of you, but I'm meeting Mr. Butler about some personal items.
You'll want a phone. I can reconnect the line.
Don't trouble, please.
No trouble. You'll need a phone.
Don't want to be stuck out there.
Well, you've convinced me. Thank you.
By the way, have you known Mr. Butler a long time?
No, I've never met him. He called me and asked me if I'd handle this for him. I said yes. He had the key delivered to my office. Mr. Mayor, Sheriff, Mr. Tolman, Miss Howard, see you all tomorrow. In fact, I'm looking forward to it.
Slick, really slick. He's a big lawyer, Bill. You've got to expect that. Don't tell me about lawyers.
Oh, you see the way he looked at us? You see his clothes?
He's doing his job. Just don't tell me about lawyers. You know what I'd like to see? Two of them like that one talking to each other. Neither one of them would know what to believe.
I love you, too. Only when I get home, I'm going to have a nice surprise for you. Oh, no, I can't tell you what it is now. It wouldn't be a surprise, now would it? No, I can't come home now, but it'll be very soon. Very soon. Honey, of course I miss you. Yes, I miss Mommy, too. Laura, how are you, kid? So I'll call tomorrow. No, I want to call. I want to talk to Jenny. Yeah, well, as a matter of fact, I'm having a fine time. Well, same to you, darling. What do you mean, hostile?
I was wondering, if we get it, what then?
Tear it down.
Okay. I'd better get going. Do me a favor, Tess. Call Diane, tell her I'm going to Wilton, and I'll be back late.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah. Butler wasn't kidding. Nobody's lived here for years.
That would be such a waste.
It's his grandfather's monument. You know, there's a caretaker who keeps this place just the way he left it.
What kind of monument is this?
Well, that's the trouble. Nobody remembers anymore.
That's what usually happens in America.
I remember this. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I'm his own. And he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me I am his own, and the joy shared I carry there.
You're not serious.
I used to hear that at funerals.
At funerals?
Yes. When I was a kid in Chipley, Georgia. There was also a Chipley, Florida. But they have both been subsequently eradicated from the map. None other has ever known.
delicatessen, so I brought you pastrami, salami, potato salad, macaroni, everything you like.
I'll have bologna and macaroni. No, some of that potato salad. Did you pick the wine, too?
The delicatessen man took a personal interest in its selection.
Oh, well, we got lucky again. That's early 1970. That's hard to come by.
Can I have some, too?
Of course you may.
Thank you. It must have been wonderful.
What?
The people who lived here. They must have had a wonderful life.
Well, I hope they did. Wilfred Butler must have believed in something. Look at that stone fireplace, parquet floor, the mahogany, this table. And you probably think this place is made of wood, right?
Well,
Wrong. You know what his grandson told me? Underneath that wood, there's 2 feet of stone. The foundation is 8 bricks wide. Now, someday they're going to come in here and they're going to tear this place down and they're going to build little tract houses all over this property on quarter-acre and half-acre lots. And that bulldozer's going to come up that hill toward this house. And it's going to get the surprise of its life. He built a kingdom out here. Only nobody's left.
no. Butler has a grandson.
No. He's probably like the rest of us, wants money. You know, he's asking $50,000 cash for this place, and if the only way he can get at least $250,000. But he won't take his time. So he'll get screwed.
Do you want to go upstairs now?
Soon. You know, one of the great pleasures in life is the pleasure of anticipating pleasure. Isn't it?
We are very close now, aren't we?
Sure, honey. Very close.
Fun fact about Lloyd Kaufman and Troma. In the 70s and 80s, they lent a hand to several well-known productions. Troma lent support to Rocky, while Kaufman served as a location executive for Saturday Night Fever and as a production manager on My Dinner with Andre. They also distributed anime classic My Neighbor Totoro through their 50th Street Films distribution arm, a division of Troma intended for more mainstream affairs. Once again, your highfalutin entertainment would not exist without the schlock masters of the world. We'll be right back after these messages here on TV 20.
Shira and I want to talk to you about something that's very personal, your body.
Remember, it's your body and no one should touch you in a way that you feel is wrong.
I'll get anybody who tries it.
It's not that easy, Orko. It's hard for a young person to admit that he or she has been touched in a bad way.
If you've been touched that way, don't be ashamed. Tell someone you trust, like your parents, your doctor, your teacher, or counselor, or your minister or rabbi.
Right, Orko?
Right on.
I get angry just thinking about it makes me mad. Little kids doing drugs, it turns my stomach. That stuff hurts. It stops you from living up to your potential. It holds you back. It hurts the user. It hurts his family. And it hurts his friends. I just want to shake some sense into you kids that are using drugs and thinking about using. So remember, don't, or else. Okay?
You've taught your children to be polite and friendly, but have you taught them when not to be?
Hi there. Do you live around here?
Uh-huh.
You going to school?
Yes.
Well, I could give you a ride.
Last year, 50,000 children disappeared, many of them from nice, safe neighborhoods.
It's okay. Come on, help me.
Talk to your children about not talking to strangers, and do it today. A message for your child's safety from the American Medical Association.
bad days. Everybody has them.
Hello? No. Not even with both of us working. The baby is crying. I gotta go.
Even the littlest thing can set you off. Stop. Take time out. Count to 10. Get hold of yourself before you take hold of your child. Write Prevent Child Abuse, Box 2866, Chicago.
What do Lloyd Kaufman and John Waters have in common aside from both being plucky, independent filmmakers with a taste for the grotesque? Well, in 2000, Troma released the director's cut of John Waters' favorite Christmas movie on DVD. I'm talking about 1980's Christmas Evil, a film about a Christmas-loving man who reaches his breaking point when he discovers that the company he is working for is using charity for their own means. It tends to get lumped in with slasher movies, even though it doesn't really fit that mold. First and only time director Lewis Jackson was actually trying to ape Martin Scorsese's movies. Back to the show here on B-Movie Mayhem.
Do you want to go upstairs now?
Soon. You know, one of the great pleasures in life is the pleasure of anticipating pleasure. Isn't it?
We are very close now, aren't we?
Sure, honey. Very close.
I don't see any beds yet.
Keep looking, honey. Butler said the place is furnished. It's furnished.
Anything doing?
No, sir. But look at this.
More football, huh?
Look how they smeared that quarterback. Look at his arm.
Got no time now. Otas. How about that telephone up at the Butler house? Is it working? Well, try it now. I'll wait.
Hello? Oh, yes, Miss Howard. Yeah, the phone's working fine. Very nice of you to go. Thank you. Good night. Honey, I'm going down to the car to get some cigarettes. Be back in a minute.
Okay.
Don't get lonely.
No, no. Did you get your cigarettes?
Yes, I did.
May I have one?
Sure. No, it's the most amazing thing. These cigarettes come in these very small packages these days.
Oh, that's for me?
Mm-hmm.
Can I open it?
Oh, no. Our Christmas is day after tomorrow.
Is that an order?
Yes, ma'am. That's an order.
Sheriff Mason.
Bill, someone's calling from Butler House.
Okay, put him on.
Go ahead now.
Mr. Carter?
I'm not Carter.
Who is this?
The honor.
Butler.
I'm worried, Sheriff. Carter's not here.
Speak up, I can't hear you.
I can't. I'm sick. Can you come here?
What is it? What's wrong?
His car's here, but he's gone. Won't you come?
Okay. Now you stay put in that house.
I'll wait for you. Please, hurry. I'm afraid.
Now take it easy. I'm coming.
Mr. Butler, are you done?
Tess, I've come back.
What's that?
Tess, I want to see you again.
Hello? Who is this?
You know me, Tess. It's Mary Ann. Tell the mayor. Tell them all. I'm waiting in my father's house. Tess, it's so lonesome here. Don't be long.
Hello? 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 Oh, my God, where is everybody? Maggie. Thank goodness.
What is it, Tess?
Something's come up. Something urgent. Can you start early?
Oh, honey, I'm watching TV.
Maggie Daly, you get yourself over here.
What is it?
Just get moving, Maggie. Just please, hurry. Come in. It's open. Okay, mister, that's far enough. What do you want here?
Mayor,
Try again. My father's not home. And don't move.
you want me to put my hands up?
No. Just stay there. What are you staring at?
I seem to remember you from the road.
That's why I'm holding a gun. You scare me.
That makes sense.
Thanks.
Does everybody carry one here?
You can ask the sheriff when he gets here. I'll call him.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the sheriff's office is empty.
How do you know?
I was just there.
Who are you?
Jeffrey Butler.
Oh, you're the one who's selling the house.
Yes.
Have you any ID?
Come on.
Don't laugh at me. I want your ID. Some maniac escaped from Margaretville.
Okay.
Put it on the table. Now go back. California license. Lucky you.
Would you like to see my maniac card from the asylum? They give you one when you escape. There's a big scarlet M on it so people won't get confused.
Okay. Look, I'm sorry about the gun. My father's in Wilton getting your money.
All I want to do is to get into my house.
The sheriff's deputy might have a key. He's about the only one I know of.
Well, where's he?
You go down the road about 1.5 miles till you come to a white house with a white fence. And then you can't miss it.
Thanks.
That's okay.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you.
If I don't call back in an hour... What? Call the mayor or Mr. Tone and nobody else. Promise me you'll do that.
Well, sure.
Mark it down, honey, so you'll have it.
Sheriff to 301. I'm heading west on Route 5 to Butler House. You'll hear from me. What the hell? What's that light out there?
Hi.
Hi.
Did you find the deputy?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh. I was thinking, isn't your lawyer supposed to be at the house?
The door was locked. His car was there, so I borrowed it.
You mean you stole a car?
Yeah. Keeping it warm.
What if he needs it?
Let him find me. Who's coming to dinner?
Oh, Daddy. We always have dinner every Thursday. Do you want something?
No, I ate Paradise Motel.
Yeah, I know. It's awful. What about a drink?
Yeah.
It's cheap bourbon, but it's a big favorite around here. Do you want ice?
No, straight.
You look tired.
I am tired.
Well, here's to a fast dollar.
Cheers.
Why did you decide to sell the house?
Needed the cash.
After all these years?
I need it now.
Huh. What's it like on the inside? You know, I've never seen the inside. When I was a child, my father told me to stay away from it, or something terrible might happen. Sort of like a haunted house.
I haven't seen it either.
You're going to sell it and you've never seen it?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too bad. It's about the only place to see around here. Oh, I forgot. Someone keeps calling with a message for my father. She says that she's waiting at your house, in the reception room.
What woman is waiting in my house in the reception room?
Oh, I don't know. It's not a voice that I know.
I better go out then.
Can I come too?
What for?
I'm pushy. I suppose you'll be going back to California soon. California. You said you lived there, remember?
No, I'll be traveling.
Jeff, look. It's the sheriff's car. There's a light. Look at that tombstone. Pretty cheerful.
Who bears the cross shall wear the crown. Wilfred Butler. My grandfather.
Oh.
Someone left their sunglasses in the snow.
They're the sheriff's.
My lawyer's missing. So is the sheriff. You get strange phone calls. And now someone's fascinated by my grandfather's grave.
Let's get out of here.
You still want to go to my house?
Yes. But I don't want to go alone.
Listen.
I'm not nervous.
Well, of course you're not.
Oh, it's the cold. I'm shaking from it. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
We'll get help in town. It's 10 minutes drive.
Good night, Mr. Toman. Have a nice holiday.
Deputy's not here, but Toman is.
Who's Toman?
Come on, you'll see. Mr. Toman, wait. No, please, I have to talk to you. I'm sorry. This is Jeffrey Butler. He's the one who's selling the house. He can't get inside the place. And my father's gone to Wilton. So we wondered...
Anything wrong?
He'll tell us. Tess has gone to his house.
Why would she go there?
I don't know. Anyway, she won't get in. You say it's locked. He says she hates the place.
Would you like to drive there?
Starring as Diane is popular cult actor Mary Warrenoff. Born December 8, 1943, she came to prominence as one of Andy Warhol's factory girls, which led to strong connections in LA's punk scene and the exploitation movie world. Through that, she came into Roger Corman's orbit and had memorable roles in Death Race 2000 and Rock and Roll High School. Though for my money, her best role is in 1982's Eating Raoul, featuring Warrenoff and Paul Bartel as a twisted foodie couple that kills rich swingers for their money. The two would actually appear as their characters again in Chopping Mall. We'll be back with more slashy Christmas action after this break.
It's yours?
No,
Your mother said she found it in your closet.
I don't know. One of the guys must have...
Must have what?
Look, Dad, it's
Where
not...
did you get it?
Dad,
Answer me. Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
Parents who use drugs have children who use drugs.
They call me Yuck Mouth, 'cause I don't brush. Oh, I like my teeth like this. They call me Yuck Mouth. No, I won't brush. How's about a little kiss? I got roast beef in my teeth, got some chicken too. Ouch, that's a cavity. Hey, that's new. Well, if you don't brush your teeth, then kids you too can be a Yuck Mouth.
Don't be a yuck mouth. Another nutritional message from the ABC television network.
So Warrenoff is not the only Warhol superstar to appear in this movie. A little later on, we'll get some flashbacks showing a party, and these flashbacks contain cameos from Warhol collaborators Candy Darling, Ondine, Kristen Steen, Tally Brown, Jack Smith, and Susan Ruthenberg. Let's get back to the movie and see if our characters have received any more creepy phone calls.
He says she hates the place.
Would you like to drive there? Diana could stay here, lock herself in.
I need a key.
this isn't my house. It's Tess's.
Well, Tess isn't here. Are you satisfied? She must have gone to my place. Well, why wouldn't she go there? She hates it. Maybe she went to see the woman who's there. Someone called the mayor's house before. Said she'd be waiting. What is it?
Hello, Jeff? Hello? Is anybody there? I'm Diane Adams. I spoke to you before.
Bring your father to the house. This is Marianne. Tell him I have the diary. I'm waiting.
Who are you?
He'll know. Christmas Eve, 1935.
Hello? Hello?
Signal 10, 704, C Charlie. 704, Signal 10, 704, C Charlie.
Sheriff, I saw your car. Bill? Is that you?
Tess, you can't see me, but I can see you. Oh, yes, I remember that face. You're older now. And battered. But still, Tess. And you're frightened, aren't you? Don't be afraid. I want to help you. Take my hand. Take it, Tess.
The person on the telephone said 1935, Christmas Eve. But that's not the beginning. In 1927, Butler House was restored by Wilfred Butler. After that, I find social notes, parties, nothing special. Then, in 1930, Butler's wife, Catherine, dies of tuberculosis. In August 1933, it starts. Wilfred Butler's daughter is cruelly attacked and raped. Her name is Mary Ann, the same name as the caller who left those messages tonight. She's 15 then. On May 2nd, 1934, Mary Ann Butler gives birth to a son, Jeffrey Butler. Jeff. Early in 1935, Butler House is turned over to a Dr. Robinson as an asylum for mental patients. And then Butler goes on to say that he has committed his own daughter. Mary Ann will live at the asylum. There's no end to this story. It's been carefully cut out of all the papers. Why would Toman do that? You scared me. Oh, what happened?
What happened is, Tess has 40 bird cages. Toman is hysterical. Everybody's in my house but me. It's cold outside and you forgot to lock the door.
Joe, how old are you?
How old am I? You mean, how many years have I lived?
No, there's a lot in the paper about your family.
I don't want to talk about my family.
Wait a minute. There's a woman calling, and she says her name is Mary Ann. That was your mother's name, wasn't it?
My mother died in childbirth. That's when I started traveling.
It's not what the papers say.
What's your point?
I just thought that you should read something for your own good.
Nothing you could tell me about my past or future would be for my own good. Where is the paper?
It's on the table.
It's so stupid to lie. I missed the whole event.
Jeff, maybe your mother's still alive. Maybe she's waiting for you at the house.
I don't know. Come on. No more side trips. Let's go out there.
It's empty.
Jeff, look! Oh, my God!
Stay back!
It's Tolman!
Stay back! She's dead. His hands. Somebody cut off his hands.
You killed him. You killed Tolman.
He's asking for help.
You killed him.
Get in the car.
Butler House.
The keys. He took them.
Yes, what?
This is Marianne Butler. I'm calling from my house. Won't you come over here, Mr. Mayor? We're having a reunion. Everyone's here, even your daughter.
I write this knowing that no one shall ever see it. Not my beloved daughter, or even my grandson, Jeffrey. I write for myself in the hope of forgiveness, if that is still possible. And I write for you, Marianne, whose youth and innocence I have destroyed. By 1935, the doctors had treated my daughter for a year. I had believed they could cure her. The child, Jeffrey, was taken from us and sent to California. I turned my house into an asylum. I brought doctors to live there. I welcomed other patients. Useless. All of it. I remembered what she had been. There was never a lovelier, happier child.
Featured as Charlie Towman is John Carradine, born Richmond Reed Carradine on February 5th, 1906. He was one of the all-time great character actors. He got his start acting for Cecil B. DeMille, and by the time of his death in 1988, he would hold over 350 credits across film and TV. He appeared in numerous horror films, including The Howling, House of Frankenstein, Astro Zombies, and The Invisible Man's Revenge. We'll be back with more after this.
While the popularity of cocaine has been on the rise over the last 5 years, so have some other things. Cocaine-related emergency room treatments, up 300%. Cocaine-related deaths, up 323%. And thousands of lives down the drain. Now, if for some reason you weren't aware of all this, welcome to the glamorous world of drugs.
When you're feeling poor or blue, watch out for the munchies. They find ways of making you munch when you're not hungry. Here, munch this. Here, munch that. Soon you're not just bored, you're fat. Go on out, find stuff to do. Get munching off your mind. Soon you'll see you're feeling great with the munchies left behind. Watch out for the munchies. Another nutritional message from the ABC television network.
Children believe what their parents tell them.
You're pathetic. You can't do anything right.
You disgust me. Just shut up.
You can't be my kid.
You're worthless.
Hey, stupid, don't you know how to listen?
You're never going to amount to anything.
Why don't you go find some other place to live?
Words hit as hard as a fist. Stop and listen to what you're saying. You might not believe your ears.
I wish you were never born.
Take time out. Don't take it out on your kid.
That's Jenny, but that's not Jenny's dad. If she gets into that car, that may be the last time you'll see Jenny. I'm McGruff, the crime dog. See those kids? Every day in this country, 60 kids disappear. Some run away, but a lot are kidnapped by strangers, or even by people they know. So write to McGruff and teach your kids to protect themselves. Help take a bite out of crime.
Cleveland, sound off. What are your favorite horror movies set at this time of year? Are you like me and like a little bit of nastiness mixed with the season's sweetness, like some kind of great and terrible hard candy? Send an email to me at cousinbobby216@gmail.com. If you're okay with it being read on air, please let us know in the subject line. Now, we get ever closer to the solution of this mystery. We crawl on this Christmas Eve, hoping to find the answer. Time for the conclusion to Silent Night, Bloody Night.
I turned my house into an asylum. I brought doctors to live there. I welcomed other patients. Useless. All of it. I remembered what she had been. There was never a lovelier, happier child.
Ladies and gentlemen, now quiet, please. I propose a toast. Doctor, please.
By Christmas of the first year, I knew that I must act, not for myself, but for my helpless child.
Led him to create this institution. Our friend.
I had no plan. All I knew was that I must take her from these men with their promises, their lies.
Shall we? Huh? For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, which nobody can deny, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
I knew that they would gorge themselves into a stupor that afternoon. It was their celebration. I expected no less. Since they had come into my house, they had acted as if they owned it. They had behaved like poor relations, half guilty, but finally unable to control their appetites. After dinner, they danced and drank as they usually did. All the time, Robinson would smile and reassure me. They expected me to believe, because I had no choice. Wilfred, trust me. He really believed Marianne would be well. He saw a light. There is a light at the end of a long tunnel.
Believe me. There is a light at the end of a long tunnel.
Stay here, Doctor. I'll get more champagne. He was ready. I knew it. Drunk and fat and full of his own importance. I left then. My cruelty to Mary Ann was inhuman. I know that. I had loved her. I had fathered our child, Jeffrey. I had brought her to this. But I swear that on that afternoon, all I wanted was to save my child. My hope was to get her away from that house. But also, I wanted to set free those other wretches who had so long been abused by the doctors. I knew what they might do if these inmates were freed. And this is my guilt. I knew, and still, I freed them. the inmates started for their house, I went to get our car to take Marianne away. I do not know exactly when she slipped away from me. I assume that when they saw her in the dining room, the inmates believed her to be part of that household which they hated. And so, they killed her. Later, there was a celebration. And then most of the inmates fled. I don't know where. But I shall never forget what they did to my child. Since that Christmas, I have lived in prisons and asylums. Lived anonymously, as an animal. I have wandered in bitterness until all seasons have become as one. And that is a season of vengeance.
Jeff. Jeff.
Wilfred Butler is still alive. This is still his house.
Your grandfather died in 1950. He was burned to death in this house.
My grandfather poured gasoline over a squatter he found here. The town wanted to believe he was dead. They still do. This house was an asylum. There was a massacre by the inmates. Tess, Tolman, the sheriff. Your father.
No.
All inmates. They killed my mother in this room.
Who's that? Who's there?
Daddy? Daddy?
Diane?
Jeff? Jeff? No. No. Jeff, why? Why?
Marianne. Don't run away. Don't. I'm your father. Don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Please. It's all right.
I spent that night weeping. By morning, there were no more tears. I know that my father and Jeffrey both thought they were shooting at killers, but they were simply the last victims in that house of victims. And now, a year later, they will tear down Wilfred Butler's monument. But they can never destroy my memories of what happened here.
With the movie's conclusion and the end of the Butler bloodline, it's time for the Bobby score. We have 1 star for An Axe from Out of Nowhere, 1 star for Death by Shovel, and 1 star for Old Time Freaky Flashback Cam. That's a total of 3 stars. Cousin Bobby says this is one gory present I enjoyed opening. We close today, as always, with this metal moment. Okay, time for your Cousin Bobby to rank his top 5 heavy metal Christmas songs. Number 5, We Three Kings by Rob Halford. Number 4, Christmas with the Devil by Spinal Tap. Number 3, Heavy Metal Christmas by Twisted Sister. Number 2, Christmas Spirit by Sonata Arctica. And number 1 is the delightfully evil No Present for Christmas by King Diamond. Hope these songs heavy up your holiday season while your Uncle Frank drinks eggnog and listens to White Christmas for the millionth time.
With every Christmas card I write.
Hey, turn that off! Well, with the holiday season here, it's time for the end of yet another season of B-Movie Mayhem. The one we weren't sure was even going to happen. Thank you all for watching. I truly do appreciate you tuning in, whether you watch on TV or on YouTube. Thanks go to the entire crew here at TV20, especially Doug Phil, who allowed himself to be roped in with only minimal complaint. A huge thanks to Jeff Agneberg and Bryce Norton for their help with the graphic design and our theme music. We couldn't have done it without you, my brothers. And as always, my biggest thanks goes to Patrick Longbreak, my production partner and brother. He is the entire backbone of what we do here. I come in here and talk for a few minutes every couple of weeks. Pat's work goes beyond that, and without him, I would just be ranting in the dark somewhere. Oh no, not again.